This is a fast-paced career.
In the heart of Milwaukee, students observe and practice the techniques to transform themselves into professional chefs.
The cooking part of it isn't the challenge. It's being ready to be in school.
It's stressful. Can you learn? Can you adjust as you're going along? And that's what you have to do.
Learning the art of cooking.
It's amazing that they can get through it. I'm always impressed.
From food preparation to presentation.
You don't learn to cook reading a book. You have to do it. And here we'll put you in the kitchen, and we give you the experience, the opportunity, the ability to learn.
For some students in MATC's Culinary Arts program, becoming a professional chef was not their first career path.
Julia Child inspired me. I read her autobiography, and she was a woman who at 36 decided to go to Le Cordon Bleu and learn how to cook. And I thought, well, geez, I'm in a career I don't love, and I'm in my mid-30s, and why can't I do it too? She did it.
We get to actually be pretty creative in what we're doing, and we're learning a lot too.
Since the military, I forced myself into the culinary world, the artistic side of cooking, and I love every second of it. It's definitely one of my passions.
Very good, even without the nutmeg.
Thank you.
So I went into beauty business, and have my own salon, do hair. I was doing hair replacement, hair extension. But after so many years, I realized that no, I really want to cook. And my goal is to open my own restaurant.
The students learn quickly in the program that honing their technical skills in the kitchen will also enhance their creativity.
Somebody can't teach me to be creative. I either am or I'm not. I need somebody to teach me how to be technically correct.
See, because Carrie's fish right here is a little bit tore up. Pinballing them with the players will look better.
Going to MATC really jump-started my career, and knowing the basics and really the kind of fundamentals of cooking you don't get to learn in a restaurant, and not every sort of restaurant practices those fundamentals. So knowing that, I think, also has really allowed my creativity to blossom.
Culinary school begins with kitchen basics, knife cuts, and cooking the perfect egg dish. Then students progress to other cooking techniques.
So this is where we're really learning to refine our skills in all of the different classic methods of cooking.
Yeah, turn it away from you. It's easier that way.
The first semester went by really fast. It was just all the basics. This one has been just jam-packed with everything, 7 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. And but it's so much information.
When you feel it, if it's cool in the middle, you're gonna say that's probably rare to medium rare.
Sure.
One thing that I find that most people desire, most people like to have, is soups. When you think about it, the first recipe in Julia Child's cookbook, and the first recipe in Joy of Cooking is a soup. Your soups, your stocks, and your sauces are the underlying foundation. Because it is so simple, because it is a simple thing, you can't hide behind anything. Soup has to be good.
We really teach them fundamentals about where stocks and soups and where the origins are. I would like to see you utilizing this technique.
Brian Moran has over 35 years of industry and teaching experience. Along with Chef Robert Barton, they share the importance of creating flavorful stocks, the basis of many dishes, especially soups and sauces.
This is for the fish stock. We're making fish stock right now. Remember, the more bones break up, the more we'll extract flavor.
Stocks get their intense flavor by simmering poultry, beef, or fish bones, or a melange of vegetables.
You got to take all the bones out the stock.
Oh, missed one.
Once students have mastered cooking stocks, they move on to preparing soups.
On the chicken noodle soup, we're looking for a good ratio of noodles, vegetables, to broth. Did you try it?
Yeah.
And?
It's good. I burned my tongue on it.
Okay.
What did you add?
Salt and pepper.
You did?
Yeah.
Today?
Yep.
You sure?
Oh my goodness, is that?
Are you sure? No. I just want to make sure that you did actually season.
Yes, I added salt and pepper.
Okay.
All he said was delicious. I mastered it. Yes. I cooked so great.
What's up?
I've actually learned how to make homemade cream of mushroom soup. And I love making soups and stocks anyways.
Guess you can't have too much mushrooms in mushroom soup.
We're looking for the soup coats the back of the spoon, and you run it through. You get a nice consistency.
Yeah.
We have herb sauce here.
After the fundamentals of soups, next come sauces.
I used to make a lot of gravies at home. I told my family I don't do gravy no more, I do sauces now. What kind of sauce you want? You want a cream sauce, you want a bechamel sauce, you want a mother sauce, a brown sauce, or bordelaise. I just love doing the sauces.
It's a work in progress for them to learn how to make hollandaise. I don't expect perfection right away. That being said, you did a very good job.
On the hollandaise, you look a nice bright color, pourable. This one's pretty good. Nice and pourable, nice and bright. It's a little eggy. It means it needs to be cooked longer. Seasoning is fine. You just need to cook the egg yolk a little longer.
Okay. This is the brown sauce. Everybody had to do one. We get graded from 4, 3, 2s, and 1. And I got 2 4s and 2 3s. So, booyah! Bam, bam!
Working in close quarters also teaches the students valuable lessons.
See, I was already ready. See there?
I have learned so much from the other students here. It doesn't matter if they're 18 and fresh out of high school or if they're older than me. It's been, a little bit of a shell shock sometimes talking to people and feeling my age, but for the most part, it's been really, really cool getting to know so many people from so many different backgrounds and ages.
That one, those two
Yeah,
are really
I
good.
didn't have it pushed
I have
down.
to hold it like on top. I can't hold it on the
I
bottom.
can't either, so, but you gotta do what works best for you.
Everybody learns their skills and learns them well before the entire team moves on.
Okay. Just add a teeny bit. Just loosen it up. It'll help that roux toast a little bit better. There we go.
With Chef Moran, you're rewarded for working together.
Add your spices first. There you go. Beautiful. Stir those in good. And now wait till you get so stirred in, and then you can add the stock.
The next set of cooking skills student chefs need to master are with vegetables.
I love vegetables, I love starches, and I love grains. I like my meat, but your flavor, the interest, the things that make the plate shine are usually going to be those things that go beside it.
Students need to understand that maybe the protein should be a little bit smaller and the vegetables should be an important component. The vegetables can stand out. Is that butter or oil that if you're going to use is going to give your vegetable a little shine? Your vegetables should be arranged. Try it. It's tender, but it's not mushy. You're ready to go. The vegetables are going to retain its value and taste better if it's prepared right before it's needed or right before the plate is required to have the protein put on it in a sauce.
Check your peas. The only way you know they're done is by tasting them.
I'll taste it.
Oh yeah, I have yours over there for the brown mustard. I just wanted to.
Yours are still hard.
That's no good.
We're looking like for a light stew consistency, not soupy, but a little bit of a stew.
Bam! A little salt. Bam, bam! There you go, Hopper John Field style. Hey!
Mashed potatoes.
Then we'll move into potatoes and do starches, different types of varieties of potatoes, and applying different techniques. So whether it's mashed or double baked or pureed, all these different techniques.
Mashed potatoes are transformed into fancy Duchess potatoes.
It gives it a nice texture by doing the star tip. So you go around in a circle, 1, 2, and up.
Whoa, hello. Why is this?
It takes practice to master this technique.
Bam, Phil. Look.
Your seasoning's right where it should be.
Yes, I did it again. We did it again, Matt. Oh, there you go. Yeah. She excluded.
I just love learning. I love anything that has to do with food. I think it's just very interesting, you know, what you can do with food.
When I first started, I absolutely knew nothing, but it was just fun, getting your hands dirty, trying new things. But now you actually know like the basics of it. It's pretty interesting.
You're going to go down on the other side, and you'll feel the bones along that.
After vegetables, students learn to handle meat in a process called fabrication.
That's right. Now, once you get past that bone, then you go straight down. Fabrication basically goes down to taking the raw product that we need to show them where the structure is. How do they understand where the natural joints are and where they are going to make the cuts, or how do they bone them out?
When you cut a chicken up, you got bones, and you want to cut at the bone. When you cut it, should just come apart. See how easy that came apart? You don't want to cut the bone.
Okay. They have to work the proper knife. You can't just take any knife and start cutting up meats and proteins.
Students use boning knives.
You can almost go straight down, that's right.
A scimitar.
Keep it nice and tight against that bone.
Or even a handsaw for fabrication.
Doesn't take too long. Once you get the saw trimmed on the bottom, you're going to have to stop at a point and evaluate where your saw is going.
When we are fabricating the chicken or the fish, he will just handle it with care. Maureen, you gotta like this, handle it like this. Don't rough on it. Don't do so. He's really out there. He really makes sure things really is done the way it's done right.
Smooth, long line. Then the meat doesn't have that. Okay, you pick it up. Let's see how you did. Set it down. Set it down. Don't drop it down. Beautiful. 5 ounces. Congratulations. There you go.
MATC alumnus Zach Espinosa has perfected the art of fabrication as the executive chef at Mr. B's, a Bartolotta Steakhouse.
So what I have here is a whole New York strip loin, and we're going to fabricate this into steaks.
Zach had a certain passion, and he wanted to learn. He's really worked a lot of areas for us. I think Zach has an inherent ability to teach people and spend time nurturing them.
So what are we looking for, Bailey, when we're making béarnaise? What do we want the egg yolks to do?
We want them to thicken up a little bit.
That's right. We're looking for ribbons. It's that skill of being able to interact with people, whether it's your staff or your guests, but it's also just knowing the impact you could make with the smallest little conversation. So it's really, really fun part.
You guys getting busy up here?
Yeah, it's about to. It's just what I love. It's really the best part about my job, making people smile. A little bit more intense, a little bit more pressure and stress, no doubt about it, but it's fun, it's cool, you know.
After learning fabrication, students begin to handle and cook with fish.
So we want a nice, clean-looking fillet.
I learned the right way to fillet a fish. I've always went fishing with my dad when we were little, but I never liked gutting them and all that. And filleting seems so hard and so amazing to me. And I can fillet a pretty good fish now when you do 6 or 7 in a row.
Follow those ribs. That's right.
This fish is very delicate, so you have to do it like almost, not perfect, but like you want to do it to where the fish still looks nice, because you can really mess up the fish really bad.
Very nice. See how the larger fish, you get a bigger yield from that. Look at how beautiful that fillet is.
I think a mastery of seafood is a difficult thing.
With me learning all about the seafoods and fish, I'll be more interested in eating different kinds of fish.
I've never made calamari, but I have it all the
So now that I know how to make this, it's a done story for all types of dinner parties.
I will not be working with this. I promise to Jesus, I will not be working with this. This is just too much.
If your oil is hot, you know, it'll fry in between 30 and 40 seconds. Take it and you get it to the corner like this, and then you pour it in. You got Parmesan and salt sprinkle up here so it gets sprinkled around. There you go, good, plenty.
You want to do the Parmesan?
There you go.
This is quick. Wait.
Never had it before?
Tastes like shrimp.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I think the best part of all of this is like noticing something that you probably wouldn't cook at home, or notice something that you probably have had at a restaurant, and then you cook it here. It's just like mind-blowing.
Great tasting food also needs to be presented in a pleasing way.
The customer wants to see the food. Don't be masking this and dumping lots of sauce over it.
People don't realize it's not just about cooking the food, it's about presenting it to the customers. And Center of the Plate is a really cool class that focuses on how to do that.
Now, when you do serve, keep it off the edge of the plate.
Basically, it's showing you how to portion a protein, a vegetable, and a carbohydrate. You have to learn how to have the right portions of food for the customer. You have to cook the meat correctly with a sauce, and you have to pick a color of a vegetable and then your starch. So it's mainly about presentation, and your food has to be spot on.
I want to see that they can turn out a properly apportioned plate of food to order.
Chef Kyle Young works with the students on their plating and presentation.
People taste with their eyes first. If the food doesn't look attractive, you're going in with preconceptions.
And is the flavor too big or too little? And applying where is the right level? Where is the sweet spot?
Your seasoning's spot on. So all you need to do is remember to turn them and make sure you get that brown in, okay?
Okay.
Salt and pepper. Whew. Whew. It's all these fun things that they get to apply all the techniques, and they get to show off a little bit.
We're taking the vegetables that we learned how to cook earlier in the semester and the meat that we learned how to fabricate, and we're bringing them together into complete meals. We're building beautiful plates of food together. We're learning how different foods work well together, how to complement them with the way that they sit on the plate.
And we've got that nice rich butter going over the trout. That's going to help to continue to cook it too.
The Center of the Plate really helped me. And I was looking forward to this class because I knew I didn't plate right.
This looks like a lovely job on the hollandaise. Actually, splendid job.
Thank you.
And it's not just appearance. It's sound, it's smell, it's everything. The entire experience. When that plate comes to the table, it should wow the customer. You're on performance every night, every plate.
All right, I'm gonna try that.
And the circle ones are done too, with the bacon around the edges.
People will beat a path to your door for something they've never had before and can't wait to have again. A great soup or a fantastic salad.
In a class called Garde-Manger, French for keeper of the food, Chef James Udelich teaches students the art of creating cold foods.
Twist. Texture, taste, knife cuts, the way you cut your vegetables for a salad, the small garnish you put on a canapé that's going to go out to a customer. All those things, all the really small, minuscule detail work becomes emphasized in this class.
4 layers of phyllo for an appetizer and 6 for an entree. This used to be our signature entree, vegetarian entree at L'Etoile.
Garde-Manger was a really cool way to learn how to take something that seems silly, like a salad, and elevate it into something that's beautiful.
You can just
sprinkle it. Yeah, we'll sprinkle maybe more lavender over here.
Presentation, quality, execution, speed, and flavor are all the things that they come into my class and are really, really nailed on. And we have a lot of opportunity for creativity.
That class is my favorite class because it talk about the party hors d'oeuvres, teach you how to do the past hors d'oeuvres, the little bitty cold appetizers. So I thought that was awesome.
Students learn sausages, categorized as cold foods because they're preserved meats.
All sausages are actually an emulsion, and that the texture and the final flavor is highly affected by whether or not the product is emulsified properly, where most people don't even realize that their brats and their Italian sausages are all an emulsion. So we expect them to understand not only the seasoning and the flavoring of this, but also how to cook them, grill them appropriately, as well as the entire stuffing procedure. Whoa! You got a release.
You got a leak.
You know, more than a leak, my friend. That's an avalanche. To be able to put your own personal touch on something like this is what's going to set these students apart out in the industry.
Yeah, we're working on appetizers. It's a patty pan with stuffed mushroom and sausage, rice, and then it's gonna be herb salad on top.
Seen the smoked salmon. It was smoked in sugar, dill, sea salt, and herbs.
Terrines and force meats, essentially old preservation methods for different meat products. You got Asian duck, liver pate, chicken liver, duck and ham and cherry, and got a dozen other varieties.
One of the main things we teach in this class is utilization of product. And almost all of our techniques, the sausages, the smoking, the pâtés and terrines, many of the preservation techniques, gravlax, confit, they're all based on preservation.
Very simple things that it just takes a little bit of time, and it tastes so much better and you feel so much better not eating all those preservatives and everything.
If you are creating something from your brain and your hand and your name is on it, you're going to take more time to make sure it's perfect.
I've always been down to try new things, but I was actually excited to make it, but even if I don't like it, I know that there are people out there who will pay a lot of money for this, so I don't mind making it and taking my time to actually produce it for people.
If you love doing hors d'oeuvres and canapes and salads and things like that, that's an awesome class to be in.
I'm looking for the proper techniques. I'm looking for them to execute the basics effectively.
Put your finger in that joint. Okay, I'll do my own sound effects, thanks. All right.
He has a great sense of humor, so he'll keep you laughing and keep you going, but then he has a serious side that it's like, okay, I'll play with you, but you better have your work done.
Good, much better.
He really understands things in a way, and he runs his classroom a lot like a chef would run a restaurant.
Karen Bell owns and operates Bavette La Boucherie, a contemporary butcher shop and cafe that uses time-honored culinary traditions.
I enjoyed cooking and cooked at home and for roommates in college, and so I decided to try culinary school, MATC, and first day I fell in love and I knew this is what I would do. My favorite classes were obviously more of the labs, the hands-on cooking classes. I mean, that was just like the coolest thing. Like, this is what I'm doing for school. It's just, wow, it's so cool. This is my life.
A finalist for the James Beard Award, the country's highest honor for excellence in cuisine, Chef Bell values her MATC training.
I think it's important to get both the practical school learning and base, and then also the experience, because you really learn from both and in different ways. Creativity is something that a lot of people have, but it's also something you have to work at and work on, and that was something that I never would have guessed I'd be in this creative position that I'm in now. Okay, W2. Yep.
Now I can really start seeing my skills kind of apply in my job and at home when I'm cooking, that kind of stuff, which is really cool.
Absolutely learned so much to the point where what I feel like I know already doesn't even surpass what I've already learned in school.
Flavoring, seasoning, adding, plating, been a good thing. Really enjoyed this hands-on now. We've got the information and the knowledge, and we're steady learning the hands-on techniques, getting in there, getting it done.
I appreciate all your efforts because you guys listened to what I asked. You use color, you use knife cuts, and that's all I asked. It's about what we learned throughout the year.
Coming up on Cook.Plate.Dine, the students get to share their culinary creations with the public.
Today I tried the Tuscan chicken on the ciabatta bread, and delicious.
From comfort food.
What's the difference between New York style and Chicago style pizza?
It's 80 pounds of chicken wings there.
But remember, you have to make 20 gallons of chili this week.
To international cuisine.
All right, we're going to put 2 chili peppers in. The kung pao has to be very spicy.
To the details of fine dining.
You've got the napkin, and then how many inches should be between the fork and the knife? 12.
How will paying customers react?
Here we go, y'all.
Join us next time for another taste of Cook.Plate.Dine.
Enjoy your meal.
We'd love to hear from you about this episode of Cook.Plate.Dine. Call us at 414-797-3760 with your feedback. Discover more about Cook.Plate.Dine online at MilwaukeePBS.org and follow us on the Milwaukee PBS Facebook page.
So that's something that I find really valuable.
Fast, fast, fast. Every day something new.
I love a challenge, and this is a challenge.
Get this sauce done.
A little less time cooking them.
Please don't mess up. Oh, I messed up the first egg.